All right, I just wanted to go on a little bit of a rant. Recently I've been binge watching some of these like TikTok, rants that people like take and upload to YouTube, right? So I was agreeing with a lot of these people on there. It's like, it's really hard, being poor in the United States, and that's no exaggeration. It really is terrible out here. Like, like sometimes I joke, like on Discord, I joked around with some of my buddies on there. Is like, shit. Even if we were making like $30 an hour out here in this economy, that still wouldn't be enough to live a successful life, right? That still wouldn't be able. You still would not be able to live a life with without stressing over bills and all that, right? Even on $30 an hour, we would still not be able to live that quote unquote American dream. You still won't be able to live on that. So currently, let me hit you with this example, right? Right now I'm currently recording this video and I don't have internet access for the next if I'm lucky, hopefully it'll be under a week, but it's most likely going to be a whole week until we can pay this bill down. Because I'll give you a chance. Take a guess how much the T-Mobile is charging for internet service and for connection for four phones for talk and text, right? Take a guess, and I'll tell you. I bet people probably got it all wrong. It's literally about $300. $300. You heard that right. $300. And the kick in the ass on all this is I just did a stream not too long ago where I was literally complaining that literally for 3 weeks I was having an issue with the router. Like it would turn on and off, nonstop for like 3 weeks, right? So on top of all that, here it is, we pay the bill, and then now the next one is due. It's like, shit, can y'all give us a little bit of slack? It's like maybe, just maybe is there a chance that you can take like maybe 90 or $100 off our bill due to your network failing us for 3 weeks on end, right? 3 weeks out of 4 weeks, that's, there's only weeks in a month, right? So 3 out of 4 weeks, that's a hell of a long time for the internet to keep acting up. You know what I'm saying? Especially when we're paying for it, right? So they can't even give us a discount on the bill. So that sucks. That's one thing in itself. It's like shit. In today's day and age, you can't live without internet access, right? That's a necessity, right? Hell, you may as well throw that on the list with food and water, right? You have to have connection. You have to, well, for many things, not just entertainment. You need to be able to call and text because you could lose your job if you can't do that, right? That's very important for people that need to talk to their boss or other people on the job site to know what's going on, right? So you need all of that in today's society, and to make it even worse, again, I'm not well off. In the I was always raised in the trailer court, right? I didn't have much growing up. I had for lack of better terms, I had the short end of the stick, right? For lack of better terms. Um, so hell, even right now, I ain't doing much better, right? Right now, I'm living in a Rio, Brazil style, a slum home. Or in other words, that's called a favela, right? A Rio, Brazil style favela home. If you ever watch channels like the Indigo Traveler, or, what is these guys? Who's this guy? Marcus Speaks Best or something like that. Oh, Christmas List is another good one. Among all these other channels where people like go and document like living conditions around the world and whatnot. That's the type of style of home I'm living in right now. Right? It's literally a one bedroom house with a bathroom, and then the living room is connected to the kitchen. There's four people living there. So think about that. No internet for a week at least. Stuck in a house with four people. And here's the worst part about it, where we have to hot bunk, right? If you don't know what that is in the military, like specifically like on a warship or in a submarine, there's something called hot bunking. And what that basically is, like, say for instance, while you're out doing, your daily shift or whatever, someone else is sleeping in your bed, and then you switch places. Basically, I'm doing that with four people right now, right? There's a queen mattress, and we gotta switch, right? Like two people lay there, one person might get a couch, and then every couple days we'll switch it out, right? Everybody gets a chance on the bed. But think about how pathetic that is. It's like, wow, here it is. I'm to a level where, suffering so much that not only are we living in a Rio Brazil style home with almost no internet, and then also we have to hot bunk, right? We have to literally share a bed with four different people. That's pathetic right there. But yet the US government can give $10,000 checks away to these immigrants that illegally enter the United States. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody explain that to me. How is it that people that are born and raised here in this country that paid into these systems of government and these social programs, how is it that we have to suffer to such a degree? But yet these people are jumping the border, or coming in on speedboats, like even happened a couple months ago with those Chinese dudes. And these people, they're getting free housing. They're getting $10,000, bills, checks from the government or whatever, and they're living good. Like hell, you see these people everywhere. These immigrants, they're living good. But meanwhile, those of us who are born and raised here, we got the short end of the stick. So they always complain, oh, we don't have much money, we don't have much money, and I'm talking about the government here. We don't have money for this or that. We don't have money for, this other program over there. We don't have the money to fix the schools or the streets, the infrastructure. But yet here it is, they're sending over literally $500 billion to go fight a war over in Europe right now that has nothing to do with the United States. You know what I'm saying? So, it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Like, how is it that you're claiming you're broke and have no money, but yet you're literally sending $500 billion to go fight a war that doesn't even involve your country? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you add all these things up, something doesn't make sense here. Like, why is it that the average American has to go out here and work two jobs and still struggle to pay their bills? How does that make sense? And the answer is it doesn't make sense. But the system we're living in, it was designed to keep you poor, right? The government designed all this to keep you in bondage, right? So we're still in bondage, we're still in servitude to the people that are in charge. And it's clearly see, just like back in ancient Egypt, right? You know, the slaves, they got paid for their labor because they still had to pay their bills and feed their families. So they still got paid for showing up to do their daily labors, the daily tasks. Just like us today, we show up, we do what we're told, we go back home, and after a week we get paid, a couple of dollars, which is, but for most of us isn't even enough to cover all your bills and expenses. And then you just got to keep doing it. It's like an endless loop. It's like shit. Like I see all these people on TikTok complaining. It's like, when the hell are we gonna get a break, right? Like when the hell are those of us out here, doing everything that we got to do? When the hell do we ever get a break? And this isn't living, right? Other people complaining about, this isn't life right here, right? It's not living. You gotta get up, go to a job you don't like, work your ass off, get nothing, and can't afford nothing. That's not living right there. And the fact is, people are not going to be willing to put up with this type of treatment for much longer. This country's on her last leg, and it's clear to see, right? It's clear to see that everything going on right now, it's like, say, for instance, maybe in school or at some point in your life, you may have played a game called dominoes, right? Like you set them up and then you knock them over, and like you set them up in a line, and then you know you push the one at the end and it knocks all the rest over if you set them up right, right? So that's basically what we're seeing right now, right? It's going to be like a domino effect. Once one thing goes down, the rest goes down, and we're really living that out right now. It's not happening all in one day, but over the course of years. Like everything started going downhill in like 2020, with the whole Corolla situation. I got to speak in code word here because YouTube doesn't allow freedom of speech on their platform, right? But the Corolla situation in 2020, that was really like the whole beginning of the downfall, right? Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. People were still struggling before then. Hell, we were still struggling before then, but not to this extent. Hell, we could still afford a apartment back then. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have to live in a Rio Brazil style slum. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's really sad if you think about it, right? But the good news is, people of my generation, right, Generation Z, we're like the very first generation to actually wake up and smell the coffee and realize that this system of government is set up to oppress us. They're not for our benefit. We were the very first generation to not buy into the bullshit, of just work hard and then you'll make it in life. Just put in effort and then you get somewhere. Now, my generation saw through the bullshit and we're calling your ass out on it. That's what people of my generation are doing. That's why when we get these jobs, we're not giving it our all. Matter of fact, I saw a meme earlier this week, and they were saying, hell, in response to like people saying, give it 100% effort at work, and he was like, shit, hell, I'll give it 100% effort, but a certain percentage only, like each day, like say for instance, like 25% on Monday, 25% on a Thursday, so on and so forth, right? It was like, oh shit, this guy is not lying, right? So hell, we're technically giving it 100%, but we're just measuring that 100% for the whole week, which is pretty funny, but it's accurate to real life, and we should do that. Absolutely. Like, how the hell am I gonna give you 100% effort if you're paying me like $8 an hour, $10 an hour, even $15 an hour is trash in this economy. Like I remember years ago, maybe 8 years ago, back when I was in school, there was always this debate that people would have about, like, should we be paying McDonald's workers like 15 an hour to flip burgers? And my response on that is absolutely. People working at Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's, Dairy Queen, they should be getting 15 an hour because, that's a lot of hard work right there. That is a lot of hard work working in these, restaurants. That's not easy. In fact, I would argue that it's much more easier to be a lawyer than it is to work at McDonald's because a lawyer can sit on his ass and read his documents all day, whereas the worker at McDonald's has to be constantly on their feet. They have to constantly, get these orders in. They constantly have to pack these bags. Again, depending on the person's job there, but it's very difficult and taxing to do that, for lack of better terms. So those people absolutely should be getting 15 an hour for their labor. To say otherwise is just slavery. At least that's how I view it. And I think that's a very logical and reasonable, you know, um, way to view it. But yeah, it's crazy out here. It's crazy out here. The garbage and the trash that's going on. Where there's people out here. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, I was at the beach back in May, and we ran into this dude down there that just purchased a condo literally on the beach. Like, it was like maybe 300 feet from the seashore, right? And it was like literally like on the boardwalk next to the water. And we saw the guy and we got talking to him. It was like, yeah, yeah, I just purchased this whole condo here for like $2 million. And then he was flexing that he had like 20, million in the bank. And that guy was living large, or that guy was living large. But here it is, we got to go back and try to survive on $50 a week. That's not living right there. That's inequality right there. So, guys like that, they can, live their life and, not have a care in the world. They can get all the new fancy cars, couple houses, hell, maybe even a boat or two if they, invest their money. But people like us, we got to struggle to get a meal for the night. You know what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't be that way. You can't have a country that has some people on such a pedestal where they get everything, fed to them on a golden platter with, literal, um, gold and silverware, and then at the end have damn golden toilet paper, later, which by the way is not even a joke, literally on Amazon or on, some of these other apps, they literally sell golden toilet paper for like $1 million. Look that up. It's true. But it's like, how the hell could there be people out here who can afford stuff like that? How the hell is this a society where we have people literally starving to death in America, but yet in the same society, you got people out here that have like 10 cars or have like 3 homes? You know what I'm saying? Like, that logically just doesn't make sense. Like, how could you have a society where there's all these people that, hell, like as I speak, there's probably tens of thousands of people, maybe even a few 100,000 people across the country that are living in their vehicles. It's like, how the hell do we have that? But yet, in the same country, there's people out here that own garages of cars with like 5 or 10 cars in it that they just take for like a joyride every, couple weeks or something like that. Again, like, how does that make sense? And the answer is, well, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense. This is a society that's built off inequality. And then, the very funny thing to me is the same people that are rolling in that cash, those would be some of the very same people who say, well, you shouldn't be paying McDonald's workers 15 an hour. It's like, well, how the hell does it affect you if they get 15 an hour? It's like, oh, you already set for life? Then you have something called, oh damn, what is it? Generational wealth, right? Generational wealth. So a lot of these guys, their kids don't have to worry, about anything, in their life. They're already set up, a lot of these guys. And it's sad sometimes. Like I'll give you an example, right? Like, down from where I'm at, there's a high school down there, and I want to say maybe 80% of the people going to that school have their own vehicle, right? You drive past, and the whole parking a lot is filled, right? And then they all can drive home at the end of the day. It's like, shit, I know that I wouldn't be able to afford that. It's like, shit, the car we got now, literally the whole window like literally shifted in the frame, so we have to like hold the damn window up with like damn duct tape or gorilla tape. It's pathetic. And then every couple weeks, you got to go out there and take off the tape and hold the window up so it won't fall, and we got to retape it again, right? It's absolutely pathetic. And then the back of the car, it's like literally sagging down, right? So you can't see through the back. It's pathetic. You know what I'm saying? So again, the absolute inequality in this country is amazing to me. It's amazing. How the inequality in this country. And people have every right to bitch and complain about it. The only people who are not bitching and complaining are those who are in favor, right? Those who are benefiting from the suffering of others, which are people on these welfare programs, and everybody in these government jobs. They're benefiting off of the servitude of everybody else. So again, they don't have a care in the world. It's like, well, shit, of course you don't got a care in the world, because y'all are benefiting from the suffering of all of us, right? Y'all are benefiting from all of it, so of course you have nothing to say. So, I just want to go on a little bit of a rant, man, because, it really pisses me off, and I have every right to be pissed off. In fact, even when you read the Bible, it says that Ecclesiastes 7:7, surely oppression makes a wise man mad. Right? The Bible says oppression makes a wise man mad. Right? Or Ecclesiastes 1:18, it says, he who increases in wisdom, he increases in sorrow. Right? That's what the Bible says. Right? So, the more we learn about how oppressed we are, about what life truly could be, outside of the bullshit that we're living, day to day, yeah, that should piss you off. I mean, that should piss you off, right? A righteous man would be pissed off, about the circumstances that we're living through. But I don't want to make this video too drawn out. I want to keep it about 20 minutes. So I'm going to end the video there. Anybody who made it to the end, play hashtag a hat, just so I know. But anyway, I'm gonna end it there.